second while we get this all set up. Hello, hello. Thank you for anyone tuning in. So nice to have you. It's an honor and pleasure. Always appreciated. Just one more second while we get it all set up. We thought we were good to go. We were close. I want to make sure everybody can see. Nice and easy. Close. All right. Good. Hello, good morning everyone. I hope everyone's doing well. Off to a good Friday. It's been a wonderful morning here so far, and it looks like we're gonna have some beautiful weather, so that's a big plus. Thank you all for joining me for this for a special edition Friday mindful moment. Each mindful moment consists of about 30 minutes of practice. It's going to be a brief introduction and a review from yesterday, then a 10 to 15 minute lesson. Today's lesson is on shaking and dancing, so it's kind of fun. And then last but not least, we'll be doing a guided meditation followed by a Zen koan, which is a riddle to give us thoughts for departure. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and get started. Pull my hair down because it's that time. Alright. So I like to begin each session by setting an intention. So setting an intention is setting a dedication for the practice. And a dedication for the practice can be an idea, a concept, a mantra, it can be a person, it can be to yourself. But what we're really doing is we're just applying a purpose to our practice. We like to seal in that intention with a deep breath in. And long, deep breath out. Lovely. And next, I like to start each class with this valuable reminder: the real meditation is how you live your life, by Jon Kabat-Zinn. So that's just a valuable reminder to take what we learn on the mat, what we learn in our practice and of mindfulness and meditation, and apply it to our day-to-day living. You know, meditation and mindfulness is when we hit those challenges and those difficulties in life. It's not just when we're sitting on the mat and essentially relaxing, right? So I think that's a really valuable reminder. So now I'd like to briefly review yesterday's koan, and it is a quite well-known koan called Joshu's Moo, and it went a little something like this. A monk asked Joshu, "Has the dog the Buddha nature?" And Joshu answered, "Moo." So I mentioned briefly that this koan, like I said, is very well known, and now moo is often used as a mantra in meditation practice. From a Buddhist perspective, all sentient creatures, and certainly any animals such as like a dog that has a happy temperament, would be expected to be said to have the Buddha nature. So for Joshu, a Zen master, to say moo, which means no or nothing, that's kind of a shocking and jarring response. So another version of this is how does a dog have the Buddha nature? By pushing him off a cliff. So again, many koans are meant to have a degree of humor or wit to them, but again, this kind of illustrates a lesson here. And I think the lesson here, and there's many levels, but on one level, it's about letting go of authority, right? Joshu, a Zen master, answering a way that was apparently incorrect or deceiving, is a lesson to that young monk about listening to authority for simply authority's sake. Now, going further though, to the depth of Joshu's teaching, Mu, which translates to no or nothingness, is a key teaching. And to fully understand life, we must begin to understand nothingness or nothing. This idea that perhaps something has or has not, that the dog has or has not the Buddha nature, that all of things, all of conditioned existence contain this element of mu, of nothingness. So even if we ask if an object is real, we're not really asking a question of substance, because all matter by this paradigm has nothingness as part of it. So reality and nothingness, internal and external concepts, haves and have-nots, are all ultimately illusionary and all united under a deeper nature. And that's perhaps the deep depth of the teaching of the koan, or at least my personal interpretation of it. Again, would love to hear your own personal interpretations. And now I like to review at the beginning of each class our working definition of mindfulness. So mindfulness is a combination of awareness, equanimity, and concentration. So awareness is the recognition of existence. Another way to say that is I am and I know that I am. Equanimity is the unconditional acceptance of now, so that would be non-judgment and non-reactivity would be things kind of thinking of equanimity. And then concentration is the intention to keep in the mind's attention the cultivation of awareness and equanimity. So you can be concentrating on really anything, but in the particular practice of mindfulness, we're funneling our concentration towards equanimity and awareness. Those are those definitions right there. Lovely. So today's topic of discussion is shaking and dancing. I figured since today's Friday, we could do a little bit more of a fun topic, and all of the information in this session or whatever is derived from this book right here, The Transformation: Discovering Wholeness and Healing After Trauma by James S. Gordon. He's an MD doctor, and this is, I believe, the second section of the book. So again, I highly recommend checking out this book, and this is where the information is derived from. So let's begin. Movement and its effects. So movement is essentially, textbook definition, a change in place or position. But what movement really does is it melts our frozen bodies. It helps us release emotions, and it can help us raise energy. It lifts troubles of the mind and increases neurotransmitters, particularly serotonin, dopamine, and endorphins. Movement also creates new neurons in the hippocampus, which can thereby decrease anxiety. Movement can also increase greater resilience, improve mood, relief from protection and against depression, and then improve sleep and memory. And again, these are all textbooks. These are from scholarly research. I highly recommend taking it out. This is all from The Transformation, that book I just showed you, and then as well as a greater capacity for focus. So there is a scholarly literature to back up all these claims that movement has a positive effect on all of these things. We see in order to move. We move in order to see. William Gibson. And William Gibson was an American-Canadian speculative fiction writer, an essayist, and widely credited with pioneering the science fiction subgenre known as cyberpunk. So briefly, I wanted to touch upon what is movement versus exercise. Exercise, in my personal definition, is a controlled movement that is goal-directed. It has a goal. You're exercising with a goal in mind. I think that's imperative. If you're trying to do exercises, you have a goal. I think that's great, and I think that's important. Movement, though movement may be controlled at first, expressive movement is about becoming spontaneous and liberating. It's not about having a formalized goal. It's not about necessarily even a direction. It's about just doing the movements, and then it becomes a form of expression. So I just want to quickly highlight the difference there between movement and exercise for our context. Consciousness is only possible through change. Change is only possible through movement. Aldous Huxley, well-known English writer, philosopher, he wrote nearly 50 books, both novels, nonfiction works, and a wide range of essays, narratives, poems, particularly including Brave New World. So what is shaking? Well, it releases stress and trauma from our bodies. Weakness, stiffness, inability to act or feel, those are all really good indicators that we have stress or trauma in our bodies. Shaking is the first thing we do, or the first thing animals do all the time. Like if they're getting out of water, they shake. If they're getting out of a dangerous situation, they shake. And they think that it actually has to do with eliminating that that fight, flight, and freeze response, right? So the freeze is that last option. They're literally freezing, or literally shaking out the fear paralysis. It's also a form of expressive meditation, and one of the oldest ones on the planet. If we think about it, our ancestors shouted, danced, whirled, jumped when something happened. Whether it was a good thing, if it was a good thing, then they were doing it in excitement. If there was something bad, then they were whirling, shaking, doing whatever they could to communicate, likely even before a formalized language. It's highly similar to the effects of walking, jogging, and yoga. So the research hasn't been totally, fleshed out, but there's a lot of evidence to support that it's at least as therapeutically beneficial as walking, jogging, and yoga. Buddhist monks of Tibet do shaking, as well as the Sufis in Persia and in Turkey they do whirling. And then in modern therapeutic techniques, Gestalt and bioenergetics uses a lot of movement and shaking-based therapies to kind of release emotional energy. Another common phrase or way to describe these is it's called archaic techniques of ecstasy, just the shaking it all out in pure ecstasy. I move, therefore I am. Haruki Murakami, a very prolific Japanese author, and I like his take on the the I think therefore I am. In reality is I move, therefore I am. Now dance. Everyone can dance. And I mean everyone can dance. It's like a face or a fingerprint. So even if you don't think you're good at dancing or bad at dancing or whatever the heck, everyone can dance. And it expresses buried feelings. And I think that's something very valuable. Nobel Prize winner Eya Pagonde wrote this, or came to this conclusion. Tension-breaking expressive meditations, such as shaking and dancing, perturb disturbances in the physical and chemical systems and bring about creative change. So when we're shaking, when we're dancing, we are actually perturbing, shaking up the almost the very essence of our systems. And with that, often a new, morally highly integrated order emerges. So we're shaking up those systems, and after we shake out the systems, when it reorganizes, more often than not, it comes back as a more integrated system. Pretty amazing stuff. Dance when you're broken, dance when you're broken, open. Oh, dance when you're broken, open. Dance if you torn the bandage off. Dance in the middle of fighting. Dance in your blood. Dance when you're perfectly free. Rumi, 3rd century Persian poet. He was really prolific, and he united a lot of Muslim and Buddhist and just a bunch of different belief systems, brought them all together under a concept of nonviolence. Perfect. So now we are going to talk about a little bit about what we're going to be doing in this next three-part phrases. The first phase is going to be shaking. So we're just going to be shaking it out for about 4 minutes. It's kind of like a warm-up, really loosening up the muscles. Then we'll be sitting in stillness for a couple moments. And then last, we will be dancing it out. And all of this together is a form of expressive movement to kind of, get us all moving, shaking, and producing. So first things first, to practice proper shake form, you want to be standing with feet shoulder width apart. And then we're going to begin by shaking all the way down from our feet, all the way up to our knees, our hips, and then eventually we'll have our whole body shaking. Okay? So it does become a full body shake. Starts at the feet, comes all the way up to your body, and then we're just fully shaking, right? And there's no right way to shake, there's no wrong way to shake. It's really about just getting the movement in there. And now, to help us shake, I've got a little song for you. If I put headphones on, then I can actually hear the song. We'll go ahead and start shaking. Shaking it all up. Shaking at the bottom. Doesn't have to be to any particular rhythm. We're really just trying to shake out the muscles. Start all the way at the bottom, taking all the way up. Really trying to let go of any tension in the neck, the shoulders, chest. Feeling the looseness in your hips, in your knees, all the way down to your ankles. And shaking it out at any rhythm that feels good to you. And this is a workout. We're shaking it out from deep within our muscles, right? We have all of the stored energy, this tension. When was the last time you moved these muscles in this way, right? You might be tuning into some tension, some tightness you didn't feel. Shake it out. And just keep shaking. We're maybe halfway. Start feeling some new sensations. I just started feeling some new places in my back. Shake it all out. Good. Nice and loose. Shaking. We're just shaking here. There's no right way to shake, no wrong way to shake. We're just shaking with our whole bodies. Around the world. Good. Good shakes. Who knew 4 minutes could feel so long? Good. Don't stop. Shake it out. Whole body's shaking. No right way to shake, no wrong way to shake. Just don't hurt yourself. Please. And if you do, so good. Good. Shake it out. On the top to the bottom. We're shaking it out. Good. Starts to become quite a little workout, doesn't it? With an oxygen to her body in places we never felt before. Releasing that deep tension, releasing any kind of tightness, letting it all go, shaking it all out. Doing great. How do we shake so well? It's like we've been shaking our whole lives. All right. And with that, whew, yeah, there we go. That brings us to the end of our shake. And it moves us into stillness. That sucks. That stinks. Knowing what stillness feels like. Settling into conditions of stillness. Yeah. Noticing what stillness feels like to you. Lovely. And for our final phase, we will be engaging in some free form dance. Let it happen. Let yourself express yourself, however that may be. Close your eyes and enjoy the music. Dancing however you want to dance, doing whatever you want to be doing. This is the freedom of the moment. Hmm. Awesome. Lovely. So I hope you all had the wonderful opportunity to dance it out. There is a vitality, a life force, an energy, a quickening that is translated to you through in action. And because there is only one of you in all of time, this expression of you is unique. And if you block it, it will never exist through any other medium and will forever be. Arthur Graham, a professional dancer. I thought that's pretty beautiful. So it does not look like the live stream is working currently, so I'm going to skip the additional body scan and try and figure out what's going on. But I just want to finish this up quite nicely with the recording and tune in for the 12:30 streaming, and I'll be doing a abbreviated body scan, specifically channeling loving kindness or compassion towards each body part. The parting wisdom for today: when the nun Chiyono studied Zen under Buko of Angaku, she was unable to attain the fruits of meditation for a long time. At last, one moonlit night, she was carrying the water in an old pail bound with bamboo. The bamboo broke, and the bottom fell out, and the pail at that moment, and the bottom fell out of the pail. And at that moment, Chiyono was set free. The commemoration, she wrote a poem. In this way that I have tried to save the old pail, since the bamboo strip was wearing out and about to break, until at last the bottom fell out. No more water in the pail, no more moon in the water. Beautiful. So thank you all for tuning in and joining me for this mindful moment. It was an honor and pleasure for you to be here with you today, to go through those exercises. I hope you were able to kind of shake it all out and kind of have some reinvigoration throughout the day. Again, I'll be streaming again at 12:30 and be doing a full body scan at that time as well. So I appreciate you all for tuning in. Thank you so much. Much love. Best ventures until next time. All the best. Take it easy.